Frank asked me, that guy over there, asked me about 8 years ago to run for auditor. And I did. And we did okay. And 4 years later, he said, would you run for auditor again? Okay, I will. And we did better. Then 4 years later, he asked me to run for treasurer, and I did, and we did better. But I learned something at the treasurer that was very important. I learned that there's a terrible, horrible banking system going on in this country that thieves us every day, okay? I learned that from other folks. I'm no banker. I'm an economist. So I ran for the office, and I talked to a few. I talked to all I could. We doubled the number of votes I got last time I did auditor. This time, I'm going to run. I haven't told him yet. He doesn't know this. I'm going to run for treasurer again, okay? But I'm starting in January coming up. I'm not waiting for the next January. I'm starting in this January, and I'm starting to raise funds at this moment because I believe we need a banking system that will get us out of the hole in the state budgets. Come on, guys. We don't want to have this blasted federal government always giving us money and tying us down to what the federal government tells us to do. Supreme Court said in the middle 90s, if you take money from the Supreme Court, it's a New York versus United States. If you take money from the Supreme Court, it's considered incentive payments. And when you get incentive payments, you must do what they say. So if a third of your budget's tied up, you can't stop doing what they say, can you? You want the BLM out of your state? You can't take any money from the federal government. If you take money from them, they'll say, so sorry, so sorry. In fact, Utah has a law, okay? Passed the law, signed, done. Federal government out of there on January the 1st, 2016. Not a thing happened different. They did nothing at all. Why? I'm sure the federal government just hung up a check and said, ha ha, ha ha, if you want to get out of it, you got to stop taking this check. Now, how do you stop taking checks? The public citizens banking system can be constructed in such a way that the profits from that bank stop going to Europe and they stay right in your state. It can be constructed that way. The profits from a bank of that type, not a part of the Federal Reserve, can pay all of the operations for the state. All of them. That means the state doesn't have to ask you for property taxes or sales taxes or fees. You want to get out of property tax? The first step is to get a public citizens bank. Now, I've been studying this for a long time. Okay, I asked Chuck Baldwin. You know about Chuck Baldwin. I asked him when I first had the idea, way back in the beginning of my other election, and he said, "Go for it. It's fine. That's right." And he gave me some other references to look at. Right on target. And I've been campaigning for next year's 2020 since last year. I've not stopped. I'm going around teaching banking to people so they can see the problem. Now I'm going to make a statement. Guys, I volunteer to go to every place in the nation and teach public citizens banks to Constitution Party members and anybody else. I only ask for travel. That's all I ask for. Nothing more than that. That way I can help you understand. I can sit in a room and answer all the questions of what anybody has about it. I only have 10 minutes. It's probably already all gone. But I can do that. Apart from that, I have a set of books back there that I've been sitting next to. Everything I talk about is in those books. For the group today, I will reduce the price of what would have been $161 for the package to $145. Or individual books, I always have a conference price. Guys, the books are here. They have all the information that I talk about. And that's a way. And another way, guys, is to have me come, and I'll come. I just look for transportation. We need public citizens bank. Now think about this for a moment. We can do these kinds of things by using the Constitution. The Constitution gives us we've been trying to get the Constitution Party going for years. I've been a member since 2006. We're still trying to get people. All the time we're trying to get people. And people want a part of the Constitution. They do. But you know, I can also help you learn how to get rid of the 16th Amendment. Do you think maybe people might like that? Do you think maybe if you could walk up to folks and say, we in the Constitution Party have a platform to get rid of the 16th Amendment? Do you think the states would like to get rid of the 17th Amendment? It can be done the same way. The Constitution says it, in spite of what the guys in Supreme Court case, Sprague versus the United States, where the decision altered the Constitution so it could say what they wanted it to say. You're not supposed to do that. We can go to the Constitution, and I can teach this. It's also in my books. I can teach it so you can understand how we can get rid of the 16th Amendment without asking Congress for one help. And that's very important because Congress won't do it. So if we're waiting for Congress, we're going to grow long beards, and we're going to have a place under 6 feet under before we'll ever get anything done. So let's not wait for Congress. Article 5 allows you to do it state by state. And I'll come and help you. I'll come and teach these things. Anyway, guys, that's what I'd like to do. That's what I'm talking about. Yes?
I have to point out North Dakota already has this.
Thank you.
Citizens Bank, and it puts millions and millions of dollars right into the state economy.
Yes, $1.1 trillion has been put into the state coffers by that bank that I know of. There's probably been more, but I haven't got all the statistics. And it's done not by paying people checks, it's done by reducing taxes. And that's how they do it. They started their bank in 1919. Yeah. But since the 2000s is when that $1.1 trillion was passed out. Guys, North Dakota's made a success of this.